What if one line replaced 10 queries and locked hackers out too? That's a stored procedure. Reusable SQL you save inside the database and run by name. Think of a saved recipe instead of shouting every ingredient each time you cook. By the end, you'll know when to reach for each one and the traps that bite beginners. Imagine a vending machine. You press one button and a whole chain of steps happens inside. A stored procedure is that button for your database, you call its name, and it runs a saved set of SQL statements. In short, it's a named block of SQL that lives in the database and does a job when you call it. A function is like the plus sign on a calculator. You feed it numbers and it hands back one answer. In databases, a function takes some input and returns a value you can drop right into a query, like in a select or a array. In short, a function computes something and gives you back a result you can use immediately. Here's the trick. We write the insert once, wrap it in a procedure called adduser, and from then on we just say call adduser with a name and an age. Notice we don't retype the SQL, we just hand over the two values. Clean. This function, taxon, takes a price and returns 10% of it. Notice how we call it right inside the select, like it was built into SQL. You feed it 200, it hands back 20. In short, a function slots into your query and gives one number back. Parameters are just labeled slots for passing values. IN means the value goes into the procedure, OUT means the procedure sends a value back out, and INOUT does both. Here we push in 5 and the OUT slot comes back holding 10. In short, IN is a gift you give, OUT is a gift you get. The everyday version. A procedure is a worker who goes and does a task, maybe several. A function is a calculator that answers one question. So a procedure can insert, update and delete in one call, while a function is meant to compute and return. Here's my honest opinion. People overuse functions with heavy logic inside a select, and it quietly murders performance. Picture editing one master document instead of 10 photocopies. You write the logic once and reuse it everywhere, so no copy-paste sprawl. One call crosses the network instead of 10 separate round trips, which can turn a slow report from seconds into milliseconds. And when a rule changes, you fix one procedure instead of hunting through 5 different apps. Think of a bank teller. You don't get to walk into the vault, you ask the teller and they fetch what you're allowed to have. Procedures work the same way. You can let people run a procedure without giving them direct access to the tables underneath. In short, procedures are a controlled door instead of an open vault. Here's a mistake I actually made early on. I stuffed a slow lookup inside a function and used it in a select over a million rows. It ran that function a million times and crawled. Also, watch out for burying all your business rules in the database because it gets hard to test and version. Keep functions light and predictable. You might wonder why your procedure is so slow. Often it's a loop doing one row at a time, like washing dishes one grain of rice at a time. Databases are built to work on whole sets at once. In short, if you can replace a loop with a single UP date, do it and watch it fly. Procedures aren't the only tool. Business logic in your application code is easier to test and version, but chattier over the network. Procedures are fast and centralized, but harder to debug and tied to your database. And for a plain reusable query with no logic, a simple view is often all you need. Pick the lightest tool that fits. So let's land this. A stored procedure is a save button that runs actions. A function is a calculator that returns one value you use in queries. They cut repeated code, reduce network chatter, and guard your tables. Keep functions light, avoid row-by-row loops, and don't hide your whole app in the database. I write these alone at a desk. A like tells me it landed. A follow means come back tomorrow.